It is impossible to deny the success of Coca-Cola, as it is present in almost every country in the world. However, the story of Coca-Cola is quite interesting, since it was initially created to be a syrup for indigestion, as well as being marketed in pharmacies. Want to know more about this amazing story? So stay with me in the video. Since then, the famous soda has become a common part of our daily lives. We consume Coca-Cola, watch TV commercials with the brand, as well as we can find them all over the planet. In other words, the Coca-Cola brand has grown to become one of the most recognizable names in the world. And so, with 2 centuries of history, Coca-Cola, which was developed in a small pharmacy, is currently present in over 200 countries. In addition to generating millions of jobs, being considered the most recognized brand in the world. The history of Coca-Cola began in 1886 in Atlanta, United States, when a pharmacist decided to create a syrup for indigestion. So on May 8, John Pemberton created the formula that gave rise to the most famous drink in the world. In this way, Coca-Cola began its legacy, being marketed for the first time at Jacob's Pharmacy, where the syrup was mixed with carbonated water. However, it was sold for 5 cents a cup, and only 9 cups were sold per day. However, the drink caught the attention of customers who agreed to try it. And seeing that his invention had great potential, his accountant Frank Robinson idealized the Coca-Cola drink, as well as he created a logo with his own hands. But Pemberton died 2 years after creating the Coca-Cola formula. Thus, in 1891, the Coca-Cola Company was born. The company was founded by Frank Robinson, John's accountant, and his brothers, pharmacist Asa G. Candler and John Candler. Asa Candler was the first president, as well as the first, to give great visibility to the business. Thus, 2 years later they registered the trademark with the U.S. National Institute of Industrial Property. After about 11 years since the product was first marketed at the Atlanta pharmacy, Coca-Cola left the U.S. And in 1899 the first agreement was signed, with exclusivity for the drink to be bottled. The grant was given to attorneys Benjamin F. Thomas and Joseph B. Whitehead for just $1. This is one of the most important moments in Coca-Cola's history. However, in the first years of the 20th century, more than 400 factories began to bottle Coca-Cola in the United States, as well as in Panama, Canada, and Cuba, which caused a big problem. This was because each company used a type of bottle. There are several models, so generating confusion among consumers. Because of this, in 1915 the company decided to hold a competition to standardize its bottle model. The winner was Alexander Samuelson, who created the contour bottle. As well, along with the Coca-Cola logo, it has become one of the most recognized icons of the company. Coca-Cola's success was eminent, so in the 1920s, the first 6-bottle box appeared, the famous Six-pack. In this way, sales of the bottles surpassed those of the drink dispensers, as it facilitated transport. Years later, American soldiers became very important to the popularization of the drink when fighting in World War II. And because of that, a new packaging model was created, easy to transport as well as more resistant, the can. The success was so great that even with the end of the war the model continued to be marketed. In this way, the drink started to appear in several advertisements from the year 1941, being then as the Coca-Cola brand in 1945. As well as 75 years after success, the company decided to expand its business and started to launch new products, such as Sprite in 1961, Tab in 1963 and Fresca in 1966. However, the so-called cult of the body, which changed the Coca-Cola Company. Cuban Robert Sigues becomes the company's new CEO, and with a strategic vision, I took the risks intelligently. So he organizes the numerous U.S. bottling plants into a single company called Coca-Cola Enterprises. In addition to launching Diet Coke, which has become the best-known low-calorie drink in the world. During the 1990s, Coca-Cola had continued growth. This led the company to associate itself with sports, where it got support from some of the biggest sporting events in the world, such as the Olympic Games and the World Cup. Thus, in 1993, the Always Coca-Cola campaign was launched, and later the famous polar use appeared, which ended up becoming a great symbol of the brand. Coca-Cola's history, as well as its legacy, made it the most valuable brand in the world, according to consultant Interbrand. Besides being the most famous word in the world as well as the second best known term in the world, behind only the expression okay. Thus, the company currently sells more than 500 brands, with 3,500 of the most varied products, such as juices, soft drinks, teas and even coffees. In addition to owning 4 of the 5 most famous beverage brands in the world, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola Light, Fanta, and Sprite. So it has become a global company that is committed to local markets. In other words, she is always aware of diversity as well as the different cultural preferences that exist. Therefore, you will be able to find a Coca-Cola anywhere in the world. If you liked the video, subscribe and leave your like, share it with your friends too. See you later.